Jerusalem, 1174. A 13-year-old boy is crowned king of one of the most dangerous kingdoms on earth. He is surrounded by ambitious nobles, powerful military orders, and a brilliant enemy who is quietly uniting the entire Muslim world against him. And he is already dying. Baldwin IV has leprosy. He has had it since childhood. By the time the crown touches his head, his body is already beginning to betray him. And everyone in Jerusalem knows it. But here is the question that history never answered. What if he hadn't been sick at all? Leprosy did not just destroy Baldwin's body. It destroyed his authority. Slowly, quietly, from the inside. Think about what the illness actually meant in a medieval court. A king who cannot ride into battle without pain. A king whose hands are wrapped in cloth so his nobles do not have to look at what the disease has done to him. A king who, no matter how sharp his mind, no matter how fierce his will, gives every ambitious man around him a reason to whisper, "He is not long for this world." Raymond of Tripoli wanted the regency. Guy of Lusignan wanted the throne. The nobles wanted influence. The military orders wanted independence. And Baldwin's leprosy gave all of them the same excuse: the king needs help. A healthy Baldwin gives them nothing. A healthy Baldwin rides into battle himself. He disciplines the nobles who defy him. He does not need a regent, does not need a guardian, does not need anyone to rule in his name. The factional warfare that consumed Jerusalem's court, the endless maneuvering, the betrayals, the backdoor alliances, most of it collapses without the illness to feed it. But let's be precise. A healthy Baldwin is not a perfect king in a perfect kingdom. Saladin is still out there. The Crusader states are still fragile, still outnumbered, still dependent on men and money from a Europe that is slowly losing interest. Geography has not changed. Politics has not changed. The fundamental problem, a small Christian kingdom surrounded by a unifying Islamic power, does not disappear because one king is healthy. What changes is the inside. A healthy Baldwin almost certainly prevents Guy of Lusignan from ever becoming king. Think about how Guy rose to power. He married Baldwin's sister Sibylla. Baldwin despised him, considered him weak, reckless, unfit. But Baldwin was sick and getting sicker, and Sibylla's marriage meant her husband had a path to the throne. A healthy Baldwin does not allow that path to exist. He controls his sister's marriage. He chooses someone stronger, someone the barons respect, someone who does not walk into Saladin's trap at the Horns of Hattin 7 years later and lose the entire kingdom in a single afternoon. That one decision, who Sibylla marries, may be the single most important decision in the history of the Crusader states. And a healthy Baldwin makes it differently. There is something else. Medieval kingship was physical. It was the king on horseback, presence. It was the king on horseback, the king in the council chamber, the king whose eyes you could not avoid when you were considering betrayal. Baldwin had all of that. The intelligence, the stubbornness, the raw personal courage that made even Saladin respect him. But his body kept failing him, and in a world where the body was authority, every physical collapse was also a political one. A healthy Baldwin does not just rule longer, he rules louder. His orders are followed. His appointments stick. His enemies inside the court run out of reasons to resist him. Could he have held Jerusalem indefinitely? Probably not. Saladin was too powerful, the kingdom too small, the outside support too unreliable. But the difference between the Jerusalem that fell in 1187 and a Jerusalem that held on, even for another decade, even for another generation, may have come down to one thing: a king whose own court did not see him as already dead. Baldwin IV died in 1185. He was 24 years old. He never had the chance to be the king he might have been. Next episode, Baldwin survives. He lives past 1185 and we ask what happens to a kingdom when the leper king refuses to die.